Systems restarting. Systems restarting. Analyzing. All systems running and fully operational. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome to another Doctor Who review.
Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review, of course, if you've most probably seen it on the picture, or most probably just got a hint from what I was doing a second ago with the modulator, this is K9's very first story in Doctor Who history. Yes, the Invisible Enemy. So, what is the Invisible Enemy about? Well, it's essentially about pathogens and how they travel through the blood. Now, to make it sound a little bit more interesting than kind of boring you with that side of it, let's kind of go back a second and kind of help you understand where the story got to that point. Essentially, the Doctor and Leela travel off to a far colony. However, when the Doctor and his friend travel through what seems to be an abandoned facility, he catches some deadly pathogens that begin to eat away at his system and slowly try and kill him from the inside. Leela manages to take him back to the TARDIS, but due to some of the pathogens breaking into the TARDIS itself and slowly eating away and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, Leela manages to get the Doctor to a hospital, but the problem is the infection is out, and by taking the Doctor through without quarantining him straight away, causes a big ruckus. The Doctor is eventually sedated and left on an operation table, where with the help of K9 and a bunch of other people, it turns out that they manage to seek out the pathogens and slowly destroy them. The Doctor being introduced to K9 makes him feel over the moon. There's just something about this metal dog that makes him love him so much. However, even though the Doctor has been cured of the pathogens have got to other patients and have slowly but surely formed their way into living creatures. With the help of K9, their trusty new companion, they manage to destroy the pathogens and free the hospital of their deadly virus. However, there's still the problem that they lie within inside the TARDIS, so the TARDIS definitely has to be decontaminated. Meanwhile, when the Doctor has a really interesting talk with the Professor who invented K9, K9 becomes really accustomed to being around the Doctor, and they make an agreement that the Doctor and K9 can now be travelling companions. The Professor points out that he believes that K9 is too stuffed up in the hospital, and anyway, he can build another K9. So, what did I think of the Invisible Enemy? Well, for a starter story with K9, I thought this was really interesting. I also like the dynamic of how they use something that is taught not only in science, but also taught for the reason why we're all taught to clean and keep ourselves healthy. I love how it's taught to an audience in such a kind of interesting, adventurous, and just awesome way. I am also just so happy in how K9 was introduced. I feel like K9 is a lovable character as we go on, but I definitely can see why the audience back in the day when he first came onto screen was already in love with this K9. He's smart, he's witty, he has banter, and most of all, he is the absolute embodiment of joy in this show. Overall, as I said, there's a great story arc in this. There's great storytelling, and also I really love how vulnerable Leela becomes when she's in a position where she's not quite sure what to do. As someone from a tribe who's slowly adapting to the universe, Leela is definitely finding herself in some very difficult situations. From finding the Doctor on a hospital bed to finding herself in Victorian London, which we will get to at some point. But there's just so many things the Doctor puts her through in, her run with the Doctor, that it really challenges Leela to kind of keep the open mind going. The other thing I love is how, essentially, Leela struggles to give the doctor's name to the hospital, and when she does, the hospital has a record and an archive all written up on him in a really funny manner. It's as if this isn't the first time he's been to this hospital. However, I also love the way that they quickly break into quarantine, and how when they realise the virus has suddenly gotten out, it's a kind of struggle, a base under siege story. And for that reason, I give The Invisible Enemy a solid 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, stay beautiful and have an incredible day, you beautiful people.